Before we get started today, I would like to draw attention to a GoFundMe that my friend and the moderator of our Discord channel, Malcaria, is running. She's trying to raise money to visit her brother who is stationed in Japan. She's trying to raise $1,800 by May 16th. I had said April 28th previously. That's just because I don't know how to read. So that was my mistake. So she's trying to raise that much money by May 16th, which still isn't very long. And I'll include a link to the GoFundMe in the description. If you have any money at all that you're able to donate, I would be very appreciative if you would consider chipping it in to help my friend go and see her brother who is stationed in Japan. So, thank you very much for listening and donating any money if you do, and now let's get back to business. Okay, today we are playing a game on Junkertown. We are in the Silver SR range, and we will be playing Roadhog the entire way through. And because we are in the Silver SR range, I don't particularly care what our team composition is, because people in Silver, they don't know how to play their heroes correctly. So team comps don't function as they should, so there's not really much point worrying about team composition in low SR. So let's just start the game. No audio today also, because the background, the sound is kind of fucked up. Don't worry about it. So, we're standing real far up. Hard to get punished for this as Roadhog, especially by, like, bad people. But we don't do anything, so we're just, like, standing all the way up here for nothing. And, you know, it's hard to convert standing over there into anything as Roadhog. And, like, you can get... Like, if they have a Roadhog that comes out of there and you get hooked back, you'll be real sad about that. And, you know, we just kind of... Oh, mercy, what are you doing, you maniac? Oh, my God. She is a madman. Anyway, so, you know, we were just standing over there for, like, no reason. So you gotta keep an eye when you're behind a barrier, because as we can see, the carpet's just been whipped out from under our feet, and Narissa moved the barrier over. You gotta be careful. When you aren't in control of the barrier, you gotta be ready for that barrier to disappear. So here we sit here doing nothing for a while now, and, like, we gotta take a breather. We're even, like, not quite hiding, really. Like, Widow almost still shot us, so, you know. But, like, we're not doing anything, and Widow just died, so now, like, there's really nothing to be afraid of. Like, just take a breather and walk across. You don't even necessarily need to use take a breather, because if you just, like, turn your back and face the wall, they can't shoot you in the head because of the way Roadhog's model is, right? He's not built like a snowman. His head doesn't rest on the top of his body. It's slightly forward. So if you just turn around and show them your magnificent ass and then just walk across, they can't headshot you and you won't die. Also, Widow dies anyway. And now we spend a long time walking all the way around the building to get back to the fight. So we've just spent like a really long period of time not doing anything. We get the hook on Soldier, but unfortunately we dump him right off the edge into safety. Just, like, turn after you land this hook, because you're directly over the ledge, so you're gonna drop him down, and you don't want to drop him off the edge unless that's a death drop that you're putting them in. So just, like, turn so that you put him on the ground to your left, or, you know, your right, either way. Just, like, turn, because you don't want... Because then he just scurries off like a little rat, just disappears back off into the rafters, and, like... You just turn, you can dump him on top of the staircase and finish him off, and it's no big deal. So a lot of our team are dead right now, and we're going to lose this checkpoint. You know, that's just how it is, basically. We're currently, like, there's no point doing this, because you're just going to die, and all you're doing is giving them a bunch of ult charge. This is something tanks have to be aware of in general, but particularly Roadhog and D.Va. Is that you can very easily just be a very big source of ult charge for the enemy team. Roadhog and D.Va can very easily be ult batteries for the enemy team. We just jump directly onto the objective, like 1v6, take a breathe, like, we're gonna die. We're gonna die. And even if we don't die, we're gonna have accomplished nothing except give them a lot of ult charge. Like, just back out. Just back out and wait for your team at that point. We'll, like... before this all happened, right, like, you gotta try and be more actively engaged in the game, because we spent a long time just, like, hiding out of Widowmaker's line of sight and not doing anything. By the time we actually took part in the fight, half our team were already dead, so at that point it's difficult for us to do anything. The most important fight in Overwatch is the very first fight, because often that dictates the pace of the rest of the game. And we just spent, like, 30 seconds doing nothing. We spent like a minute at this point doing nothing, and then we just threw ourselves onto the objective and died because we're vastly outnumbered at that point. Very common issue in like low SRs is people don't want to like admit that they've lost and give up ground, so they just walk in and die. and touch the objective for, like, no other reason than just for the sake of touching the objective. Like, at that point, just back out and wait for your team to regroup and then go for it. There's no point just jumping on the objective as Roadhog, like, vastly outnumbered. You're just gonna die. So we're gonna lose this checkpoint to no one's surprise after how well that first fight went. So now we gotta try and defend the street phase, which is not the worst on Junkertown. All street phases are kind of terrible. King's Row is okay. Junkertown is, like, almost okay, so, yeah, I guess Blizzard World, it's not really a street, though. I mean, you know, whatever. So we're really far up right now. It's hard for us to get punished again as Roadhog, but, like, we just kind of get into a scrap with the other Roadhogs. Just, like, take a breather. I just don't be walking around at half health as Roadhog when you've got Discord Orb on you, because if he didn't have to reload right there, we die, right? Like, we died. Just reload also before you do this, because you got one shot in your gun right now. You're going to need more than that to really put up a fight against the Roadhog. So, like, reload and, like, just, like, reload and then, like, keep an eye on the counter. As soon as the number changes from 0 to 5, then hook him, right? Because, like, Roadhog is this way where, like, when he dunks the scrap in, and that's when he's actually done reloading, the, like, flick back up thing at the end is kind of extra. So you can, Roadhog is, like, one of the easiest, like, animation cancels. It's, like, his reload, it finishes so early. Like, one shot isn't going to do you anything, and just, like, don't walk around at half health, because if that Roadhog didn't have to reload after he hooked you, you die way sooner than that, and don't even have the opportunity to try and fight him. You don't, like, it's very odd usually the issue with Roadhog players is that they use Take a Breather way too liberally. So far, we're really hesitant to use Take a Breather. Like, as soon as you can heal, like, 300 health or close to, just use it. Or if you're going to take a big burst of damage in the near future, because then you can use the damage reduction. So there's no point coming up here. Like, we're not going to touch this objective, and we're just coming way far up, and, like, we're not going to touch it. And now we just have to go all the way back to get to safety. Like, if you can't touch the objective, don't bother going up through that area right there. So now, we're about to perform another illegal maneuver, which is we're gonna fight them outside before the gate has closed. We don't want to fight them outside in general. We get a sick kill on Moira right there, right as McCree killed 2 other people with Deadeye, so that's cool. The problem is that we've done all of this before the gate has closed on Junkertown, and this part, we're so far up. Just, like, this is mad overextended. We should not be this far up. We don't, like, go outside of the tunnel at this point. I've never noticed that on the wall. Who's that versus who? Bludger versus Levenstorm? 11 or something. I can't read it properly. Whatever. I've never seen that there. When's Bludger gonna be a hero in the game, huh? Anyway, so we were just, like, mad overextended. We don't go out of the tunnel at this point. The thing is with this objective is that, like, if you fight before this gate has closed, if it doesn't close, it's so much easier for the enemy team to start getting the objective going again, because they can just walk out, jump straight on the payload, and start pushing it again, right? If you wait for the gate to close and then kill them, they have to go through one of the doorways on the side, which is so much harder for them to push through. So fighting them before and, like, this is true of a lot of maps that have, like, a gate that closes behind them. You don't want to take the fight before the gate has closed, like the second checkpoint on Gibraltar. You don't want to fight before the hangar door is closed, because if the hangar door stays open, it's so much easier for them to get back inside again. And Junkertown is the same way. It's really hard to walk through the 2 side doors. It is very easy to just walk up to the bulkhead. So they're starting to get some momentum again. Soldiers apparently using TAC Visor over there. Both of our support. Oh no, Zenyatta's still alive. He's using Transcendence very badly, but he's still alive. So we're too far up right now. It's going to be hard for us to win this fight because 2 people are already dead, correct? The other person was, Lucio. We've got Lucio, Anna, and Zenyatta on our team, which is we're very suspicious. Whatever, I find that is weirdly the case, is that, like, it seems weirdly easy to end up with an excess of support mains on a team. I don't know, it's very strange. It's like, if I have to fill as a DPS more often than I have to fill as a support. Because, I play tank willingly, so it's like, I always end up having to play a DPS before I end up having to play a support. It's really weird. This is not how most people would see it, but it's been my experience. So anyway, 2 of our team are dead right now. We're also solo tanking as Roadhog, which is real bad, real bad. You should very strongly consider changing if you're solo tanking as Roadhog. It's hard to win when you're down 2 people, but fortunately they're very bad, so we just kind of get away with it. This is a very telegraphed Earthshatter coming right now because he's just running at us. He's just running straight at us with his shield down like that. And then he runs forward a little more. This boy is ready to use Earthshatter. Now, we as Roadhog can't really do very much about that, because we can't block it, right? But here's what we can do. We can make it a less good Earthshatter at the same time, right? So, like, we just stand right... he wants it so bad. You see a Reinhardt moving like this, he wants that Earthshatter. So the best thing we can really do is, like, hook as hard as we can to, like, get out of, like, make it difficult for him to get a good Earthshatter, because he's gonna try and hit us and everybody behind us. So we should just, like, pivot as hard as we can to, like, split up from our team so the Earthshatter is less good. And then once he's used Earthshatter, we can use Roadhog. Yes, of course we can use Roadhog. We're playing Roadhog. We can use Whole Hog to fuck up the engage, basically, or just hook him out of his charge, right? Fortunately, it doesn't matter anyway, because quite a bit of his team is dead at this point. But if you see a Reinhardt moving like that, he wants to Earthshatter. And if you can't block the Earthshatter, the best you can do is just, like, make the Earthshatter less good by splitting up so that, like, it doesn't wreck your entire team. Especially if you can then fuck up the engage after the Earthshatter, which Roadhog can quite easily do because the Rudy Tooty Whiz Bang Shooty is just kind of like, I don't want to have this team fight, so I'd rather if everyone just, like, left for a while. And there's, now that Bridget's in the game, there's a little more people can do about it, but it's very hard to engage through Whole Hog. So, at this point, we're losing momentum. If McCree didn't die right here, this would be no issue, theoretically, because he'd help us kill the Roadhog. We're not going to kill this Roadhog. It's not feasible for us to do so, as his team is building up behind him, and, like, Zenyatta's still here, so he's going to discord us, and we're going to be sad about it. Like, this is not a fight we're gonna win as Roadhog, so what we should really do at this point is just be trying to leave. Like, just, like, turn away so they can't, can't shoot you in the head and just try to get back. This is the thing with fighting on this checkpoint in general without a shield tank, is that it's so hard because there's no cover on this map, right? So, like, if we're all the way up here and we're just playing Roadhog, look how far we have to go to get back to safety. At that point, we're not gonna hold the objective over there, so we should just try and, like, disengage and, like, get back, because we're just gonna end up dying over there, which is exactly what happened. Fortunately, our team have a lot of ultimates, so we still have a good chance of defending right now. Their Reinhardt has died, now their Moira's dead as well, so now Zenyatta's dead. It's alright, we have, like, 27 supports on our team, so it's no big deal. Unfortunately, everyone's just kind of getting picked off as we come out here. We've been nano boosted. We don't have Whole Hog right now, though, which is very upsetting. The fucking heal boost, take a breather, is fucking recover 600 health. Oh, so good. It's not actually 600. They nerfed the healing boost, didn't they? It's a fucking lot, though. It's a fucking lot is what it is. So unfortunately, by the time that any of that starts happening, it's basically all over. The best thing we could do is change off of Roadhog, basically, because solo tanking as Roadhog is really hard, especially when you are trying to defend a checkpoint that has very little cover to use. Like, the third checkpoint on Junkertown is, if you don't have a shield to stand behind, it's very hard to defend, because it is basically just like a long straight tunnel with the occasional side path coming off of it. And if you have to run far to get back to safety. And Roadhog's not a very fast man. He's big and he's fat. He's not a nimble individual. Realistically, why doesn't he just lay down and start rolling? Right? Like, would he not move faster? And then, you know, make that another ability, just make a knockback. Hey, just, you know, just watch this fat boy just roll down the map and knock people out of the way. That'd be cool. Don't do that. That would be terrible, but fuck, it would be cool. So we come over here and we bully the Moira rather solidly. This is something I realized that I meant to point out, but I forgot to point it out at the time, is that we aren't very good at knowing the distance that we should be using our right click. And the point I really noticed that was way, way back when, 738. So it was way back when we were getting into a scuffle with this Roadhog. I meant to point this out at the time and then I forgot. We're trying to left click this boy from 1,000 miles away. Like, that's the point where you should be right clicking that guy, because he's too far to left click anymore. Like, you're barely hitting the guy, right? Like, that's where you need to start right clicking. And I say that now because I just noticed that we tried to left click the Moira right here as well. Because we're sneaking through, we're coming, oh, Moira doesn't see us, and then, like, oh, we left click her, that's the range where you just right click her instead, then hook, left click, you know, all that good stuff. She died regardless, so, you know, clearly it didn't matter in that instance, but we don't seem to be, we have some inconsistencies with knowing the correct range to use the right click, which is an important skill with Roadhog, knowing when you should left click versus when you should right click. The answer is usually that you should right click. If you get to just walk up and start left-clicking, that's cool. Just, like, push into this dude. Just, like, walk up behind him and just, like, press the gun into his spine. Because basically you're gonna kill him. Like, just push into him so you can get, like, because you're very close to just being able to, like, get every pellet into his back. So you might as well just push into his spine and, like, kill him, basically. He hooks us, we hook him, he's dead now, hooray, their Widowmaker is still alive, as is their Hanzo, which is kind of spooky. We as Roadhog, very big, very easy to hit. Fortunately, they're nowhere to be seen. McCree is up to some shit right now. He's got a very innovative plan brewing here. I've never seen a McCree hanging out in front of the hangar door, just not firing his gun. I know what he's up to, but, like, he's planning some shit. He's got a plan brewing over there. So we're just, like, going way far up right now, and there's, like, no reason to do so. Because, like, again, like, think about what happens if you get into trouble coming all the way up here, right? There's no reason to push all the way up to Reinhardt, because you can just right-click at him and hook him, and, you know, there's no reason to go right up in his face. But, like, if you get in trouble up here, you have to go so far to get back to safety again. This is an important thing to bear in mind when you're positioning as basically any hero, is, how far do I have to run to get back to safety if I get into a bad situation? And the answer is there, very far. So we don't want to go that far up. Apparently we knew. That was so bronze of me. It's alright. Every SR is basically bronze when you get right down to it. We sneak up. Reinhardt's upset. He's been hooked. Don't need to be so scared. You know, Reinhardt's not gonna kill us by himself, you know. You just, like, keep fighting him, push, like... The only way he kills you is if he pins you out of Take a Breather, which, you know, you can play around as Roadhog, right? You just don't make yourself very pinnable, and you can get away with it. Like, Reinhardt's not gonna kill you quickly. You can just keep fighting him in that situation, and then, like, you know, use Take a Breather and disengage if things start getting scary. So, like, we don't worry about that. Like, you're not very good at killing snipers as Roadhog, so just, like, keep on the Reinhardt. So, we decided to use Whole Hog, and I will concede that I was thinking right around here, it might just be worth using Whole Hog to make sure we capture this checkpoint, because Whole Hog isn't an ultimate that you have to be super careful about holding on to, because it's not like, you know, it's no Dragon Blade, right, you know? We decide to use it, like, I mean, it kind of accomplishes the same thing, it's just like, by that point, it just doesn't even look like we need to use it anymore, because, like, D.Va used her ultimate, and, like, they weren't actually coming out here to touch it or anything. It was very nitpicky by that, like, honestly, but, I would have probably just used it sooner, but, you know, in the end, it accomplished roughly the same thing. That was a tragic use of company resources right there. Oh my god. used Riptire to do, like, 200 damage to a Roadhog. How depressing. So now we've got to try and get through the street phase. They have a lot of snipers still, which is, you know, it's kind of upsetting, but we as Roadhog don't especially care. So why do we just let this person get away? Like, just hook her. Just hook her. Like, chase her down. Like, she's dead. She should be dead. There's no reason she should get away with that. We just, like, disengaged for some reason. Like, hook her, run her down, make sure she doesn't get away. She should die for that. Like, I don't know why we didn't just kill the Widowmaker right there. We made almost no effort to kill the Widowmaker, even though she was dead to rights right there. Like, this is the whole thing Roadhog does. He's good at killing people and picking people off. You don't want to just let opportunities like that slip away, because that Widowmaker, she was dead. She was just hopping away through the street with Discord on her. We didn't even... Like, if we hooked her and missed, fair enough, but we didn't even try. It was upsetting. So, we got wiped right there. We got pinned and basically died because Discord is really strong, you know. Life is difficult sometimes, especially when you play Roadhog. Roadhog, one of those heroes where life just kind of continues to get sad for him, basically. Like, you know, Blizzard took his fun away so many moons ago, and, his fun levels just keep going down, man. So, quad tank Moira Lucio is a move. Yes, correct. Sorry, elevator music was playing in my mind right there. So, they're standing in, like, bad positions. We don't really need to, like, give up on this Hanzo so easily, because, like, he starts running that way. He's probably going to go the other way around. We could just, like, try hard to kill that guy instead of going for the health kit. Line of sight breaks, you know, that's unfortunate. We went over to get the large health kit. We weren't that wounded. We could have just, like, kept on the Hanzo, basically. And maybe then Anna doesn't die. Let's call her Widowmaker. Very different hero. Maybe then Anna doesn't die. We kind of, you know, we were kind of willing to let him go. You know, we gotta play with your heart, especially if you're playing a tank. You know, me big boy. Gotta go out there and actually fight people. So this Reinhardt, like, he looks like he's trying to line up an Earth Shatter. Did he start Earth Shattering? Was that the start of his animation? Because this to me looks like a Reinhardt that's trying to Earth Shatter. No, it doesn't look like it. That boy looks like he wants to try an Earth Shatter right there. It's a very suspicious movement for him to make if he doesn't have Earth Shatter. Because he just kind of, like, tracks all the way across the street without his shield up. Anytime you see... I've never read the license plate before. If you see a Reinhardt that's just walking around with his shield down, he's probably trying to Earth Shatter. It's very bad for him to do that, but, you know, people are bad at this video game, so it's not shocking, really. How did Reinhardt get over there? Because we tuck down behind here, and then we just never really see him again until he's behind us. Does he charge past at some point? Just saw his barrier. I guess he charges past on the right-hand side. And then we kill Zenyatta. We basically just trade Zenyatas. Oh, their Roadhog is behind us. Yeah, I just caught a glimpse of that boy over there. Their Roadhog did kill our Zenyatta, which... I did see that in the kill feed, but I kind of assumed that to be closer to us. No, he killed Zen all the way back there. So, awareness is important. We've been surprised by this Roadhog, and now we're using Whole Hog, but we're so low health that we can't actually, like, do anything with it because we're gonna die as soon as we poke our face out. I imagine that was like a panic response to the Roadhog, which, you know, Panic ults are very rarely good ults, so don't do that. By that point, like, if you like, ideally we notice the Roadhog and we aren't taken by surprise and we just fight him, right? Because he's behind us. But if at that point, if you don't notice him and you're in that position, just take the L. Just tell him 16. Just it's not worth like trying to use the whole hog like that, because we're so low that the risk of dying when using whole hog is just so high we can't do anything with it. And the nightmare is that you use any ultimate and then you just have to start hiding with the ultimate, right? Like, that's bad. If you're Mercy, it's not necessarily the end of the world, I suppose. You know, Mercy accustomed to hiding anyway, but it's not ideal. So we've got a fair few ultimates still. You know, it's not impossible that we capture this checkpoint. Need a Mercy. That's a unique take on things. I would say we just need a Moira rather than Anna, really. But, I mean, I guess Mercy's cool. So Zenyatta's using Transcendence over here for not much reason, to be perfectly honest with you. Get juggled into the Reinhardt. I think we could have killed him. No, we had to reload. Never mind. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we had to reload. Never mind. That's unfortunate. I was like, we could have killed him before we started taking a breather because he was really low, but no, we had no bullets. So, fair enough. Technically, we have no bullets in general. We have scrap in our gun, which is just kind of hurled at them. You know, it's like how Roadhog and Junkrat, their name should be flipped, right? Because Junkrat is the one with the tire, so he would make sense to be like Road Rat, right? And Roadhog is the one with the scrap gun, so he should be like Junkhog, right? But, you know, whatever. Just like how Take a Breather doesn't make any sense if you can use it while you're moving around. It should really be called One for the Road, but, you know, whatever. So I got so excited when I saw this. I was like, oh my god, this is the absolute dream situation. Oh god, we don't hook her after we shoot her once. Like, just shoot, hook, shoot again. The fact she got away, oh god, it broke my heart. I was so upset. Because that's the freest money you can possibly find. So, we end up in a very unusual situation for a Roadhog during this next part of the game, where we spend a long time fighting snipers on the rotating disc. Unfortunately, he slips away from us. And, like, it doesn't look like we're doing a lot, but to be fair, we are occupying the snipers, which is rare for a Roadhog to be able to do, and then in the end we killed Widowmaker anyway, even though, gave her a bit of a teabag as well, nice. Yeah, you know, could have gone harder on it, you know. That's a really easy way to tilt the enemy team, is you just teabag the person after you kill them. Because, and don't tell me you're any different, right? I won't believe you. The second somebody teabags somebody, the person goes, fucking really? And then they're upset about it. Don't tell me you don't do the same thing. You absolutely, as soon as someone teabags you, you go, what, fucking really? And then that's it. They're upset at that point. So we don't manage to quite hook the Hanzo, which is unfortunate. At this point, after the scatter hits you, you know, scatter wouldn't hit you anymore. But like, you're too low to keep fighting Hanzo at this point. He only has to hit you once, and you're a very big boy. At that point, you gotta take a breather. Like, you can keep chasing him while you're taking a breather, like, I guess, but you gotta take a breather at that point. Because he's just gonna kill you as soon as he hits you, and you're, yeah, me big boy. Very easy to hit, you know? So, now, team's kind of still got some momentum going. In general, our team play isn't very strong. We kind of just like bounce around the map doing our own thing as Roadhog. We aren't really thinking about what our team is up to, and we aren't like paying attention to how many people are still alive on our team. You know, like we've tried to pick a few fights still while we're down like half our team, which is not recommended. Unfortunately, Overwatch is a very team-based game. So you gotta, like, keep an eye on the kill feed all the time. And as soon as you see, like, 2 people dead on your team, you have probably lost that team fight. Well, if if you're down 2 people relative to them. So if, like, you're 4 versus 6, or, like, 3 versus 5, you've probably, or, like, 2 versus 4, you've probably lost that fight. Something has to go extremely well for you to win that fight at that point. So you should really just be, like, disengaging, and then coming back when you actually have your teammates. Because this is a very common issue in low SR, is people don't want to wait for their teammates. They just keep trying to fight while they're down. While they're down men, and then they just keep staggering themselves over and over and over again, and your team never actually regroups and never gets any momentum going. Unfortunately, Overwatch is this way, where if you are not fighting at least an even fight, right? If you don't have as many men as them, or ideally a numbers advantage, it's very hard to win the team fight. Like, realistically, losing one person is often enough for you to not be able to win the fight. But the way Overwatch is it's very hard to not have somebody fucking staggering themselves or, like, off doing their own thing. So, like, you need to actually, like, play with your team, unfortunately. So you gotta, like, be aware how many people are dead on your team and such. We usually take a breather in the middle of Transcendence, which is not a good use of company resources. So, we all know what Reaper wants right now. He wants to spin. He wants to let her rip. And we, in general, we're like, very hesitant to try and kill this boy, because, you know, we're Reaper and he's Roadhog. He's purple right now and got Discord on him. Just, like, try and get him. I know it's scary, just, like, try and get in on that boy before he's not purple anymore, because it's easy to kill him while he's purple. It's not easy to kill him after he's no longer purple. I understand the hesitation, especially since we were, like, half health, but, like, you gotta try and just kill that boy while he's basically dead and purple. Because that's when he's easiest to kill. But didn't manage to do so. So B333333D. So that's how he did it. I did wonder how he got a Deadeye kill on one of their supports from inside the tunnel. He wasn't inside the tunnel. That makes a great deal of sense. Let's look at the recommended videos. What we got today. I do follow this man. I don't watch these videos. What's this? Skyrim VR is an absolute nightmare. I've heard that. Polybus, the video game that doesn't exist. Yeah. I do not like lo-fi or hip-hop. So, you know. Ed, and Eddie's a good show. Fair enough. Whatever. So, things that stand out the most. Basically, get more accustomed to the correct range to use the right click, because we're kind of inconsistent on that. Play around your team, like, a lot more. We're kind of just, like, rolling around the map, doing our own thing. Like, you do have to actually play around your team, right? Like, you have to actually be with your team. And, we very rarely even actually see our teammates in this game. Like, I can't really tell you what most of our team were up to, because we were just kind of doing our own thing. And then trying to pick fights while our team were down men and all that is very bad. Like, it's hard to actually get your team to not be mad staggered, especially in low SR, but you don't want to make the issue worse, right? So you've got to actually, like, play around your team and try and keep them alive, especially if you're playing a tank. Because don't forget, Roadhog is still a tank, right? Like, he's not a very conventional tank. Like, he's not as straightforward as, like, Reinhardt is, but he is still a tank. You are still trying to keep your team alive, and you're trying to make space for them and, like, prevent them from taking damage. And the way Roadhog does that is just by being extremely threatening presence, right? Roadhog is scary because he can hook you. And if you get hooked, you're quite likely to die. So people are afraid of you. So the way that Roadhog makes space for his team is he's with his team, and then they see you with your team, and they're like, fuck, he's gonna hook me into his entire team. That's scary. I gotta stay behind some cover or out of range of the hook, right? Like, you have to actually still try and keep your team alive as Roadhog. Obviously, a big thing about Roadhog is that he picks people off and gets killed, but it's way easier to do that if you're with your team instead of just kind of, like, off doing your own thing. Like, if you're not one of the flankers or sniper, it's very hard to just be off in your own little zone doing your own thing in this game. Everybody basically has to play around their team. Even the flankers and snipers still need their team. It's just, they're weird. So, like, play more around your team. Like, focus on, like, actually staying with your team. Keep an eye on the kill feed. It's very important to know how many people on your team are dead. As soon as, like, 2 people are dead, just, like, disengage the fight, try and get your team to group up, and then actually, like, get a push going, right? Because you do need to, especially if you're attacking, it's very hard to attack with a numbers disadvantage, because you're trying to push into the defending team, so they have the defender's advantage, and you're trying to push into them, like, 4v6. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You have to actually try and, like, get your team to regroup and push in. So, like, play more around your team, and be more willing to use Take a Breather, because we were weirdly afraid to use Take a Breather in quite a few situations. We're a big boy, you know, just, like, go out there, fight people, take a breather when you're getting wounded, you know, like, it's fairly, okay, the Mercy can get some ult charge off of you. It's more important that you actually take part in the fight more than anything else. Like, right, okay, like, her getting 10% ult charge off of me is cool, but, like, I'm not doing anything for an extended period of time. That's bad. I want to be having as much input in the game as possible. Just take a breather, start fighting again. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.